Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to come up here and talk about how life is after you retire from the military. And this is going to be off the dome, so if it sounds like a ramble, please forgive me now. Okay, anyway, so just some backstory on where I'm at in my life, or backstory to where I am at in my life right now. Okay, so retired from the Air Force after 21 and a half years, retired officially in December. It is March right now. But past December, I was on Skill Bridge and I did TAPS and I had terminal leave. So I really haven't been at work or sitting behind a desk to push papers since like late June of 2023, right? So that's like 9 months of a refresher. But I would say from June to September, even though I did planning before June, but June to September, I was in my skill bridge. I was planning for my retirement. My birthday was around that time too, in September. So I was planning a lot of big things to happen. And also planning for the VA CMP process as well, right? So I had a lot of things going on. So when you're in that mode, you're kind of like, you're trying to stay up on top of everything because things is quickly coming to an end in your Air Force career or military career, right? Whether you are retiring or ETSing, things are coming to an end at that point in your life. So, anyways, I decided to move from where I was stationed at back to my parents' house, right? I am a single person. I have no kids. So I really miss being around my family, to be honest. I could have stayed at where I was at, but I didn't want to. I really wanted to be back home. I really wanted to be around my mom and my dad. So I moved back home, literally to my parents' house, right? So I want to stop right there because most people, when they retire, they're not in my situation. They're not a single person, or either they are not childless. So they may have had to reconstruct a different life than I have had to. Like they may have had to find a job to lock down, or may have had to find a home and a school for their kids or children, or maybe just whatever. I do know people who that when they retire, they go travel the world, or they get in an RV and go around the US. But I don't know many people that have done that. And I don't know many people that were single with no kids, or single with older kids, like 18, 19 years old, and retired. I can count on a hand the people that I do know that have been retired. So anyways, for me, I didn't have anything really hold me back to my last duty location, and I had no reason not to come home, right? So I came home in September. And I didn't move out of my parents' house until February, right? So some things had happened, some balls that got dropped, not on my behalf, but they did get dropped. And I ended up having to look for a place in North Carolina. That's where I'm at, right? North Carolina. And it actually took me a while to find the right place because a lot of places weren't given what they're supposed to be given. Like, when I was looking for places to live, when you do the walkthrough, like the homes were disgusting. Even though they were empty, they weren't cleaned, prior to leaving. Or either the location wasn't giving, the neighborhood wasn't giving, So it took me a while to find the right home for me. So anyways, didn't move in until February, and now it's March, and I'm still trying to get my stuff situated at home. Like I got my TMO finally, and now I'm slowly trying to decorate and organize my home. So with that being said, so from September to February, I'm gonna keep it a buck on this. Like I was in some type of either a brain fog, feeling remorseful, feeling sad, feeling not like my normal self. When I say my normal self, like normally I'm very happy, very jovial. I think highly. I think like I can conquer anything in the world. And I'm not saying I didn't have that in the background running in my head, but I wasn't who I normally was operating as before I decided to retire, or before I got stationed at my last duty location, which was July of 2022. Okay, so here's the correlation. I got there in July 22, and I decided to leave to get out the military in February of 2023, and then I retired in December of 2023. That's letting you know where I was at was not where I'm supposed to be. So I decided to retire. Even though I had no plans to retire, I decided to because maybe, I believe that things being predestined, and God set it up to where he knew things were going to be a domino effect and I wasn't going to like it. So I said deuces, right? So anyways, wasn't myself really from September through February until I finally got into my home and was able to decompress and be by myself. Now, I love my mother and my father very, very much. But when you go back to your parents' house and you're not no teenager, it's giving something else. It's giving, you guys still think I'm 10 years old. It's giving you want to control my life. It's giving you want to tell me what to do. And it's a blessing to have a mother and father. It really is. But my parents are overprotective. So it wasn't the best for my mental health, to be honest. But even though it was a very, very, it's a welcoming place, it's very clean, it's a nice location, it just wasn't my own. And I'm used to being by myself. Not to say that my parents bug me, but I'm used to being by myself. So you're in this transition, you're retiring, you're retired, you're with your mom and your dad 24/7. You don't have your own, you're trying to find your own place. I didn't know, but I wasn't really myself until I got into my home, until I had time to sleep on my own, get up when I wanted to, clean up when I wanted to, tackle the things I wanted to tackle. That's when I really felt like I'm becoming back my normal self. And today is the very first day I actually woke up and felt like my normal self. So I don't know if that had me being at my parents' house had anything to do with it, but what I'm saying is when you're in this transition period, when you have retired or retiring or ETSing, it's going to take a while for you to get to feel like yourself again, because you're in the transition. You're trying to find a place to live, you're trying to find schools, you're trying to find a job. Now, glory to God, I didn't have to look for a job, and I'm not going to. Okay, I really feel like I don't want to go back into the work center. I think, like I said, today's my first day feeling normal, but I think that I could, but I don't want to. I really don't want to supervise no one's grown kids, no one who's only like 1 or 2 years younger than me, and they think they know more than me. No, okay, so I'm not doing it. So anyways, so I have been, since I moved into my home in February, I've been just, maybe even decompressing is the word, because I'm finally back on my own. I call my own shots. I don't have to worry about no one else. And I'm not saying that, I don't want to be in a relationship, or I don't want to be married, or to eventually have kids, but this is my normal routine. It's doing me, so for anyone else, just know that it could take some time for you to feel like that you're back to doing you. Maybe once you find a job, maybe once you find your home, maybe once you get your household goods. Because I didn't get my household goods immediately when I moved in. Like, it took them about 3 weeks to get it to me. That wasn't fun. I was sleeping on the floor. I'm not saying I ain't sleeping on the floor before, right? I'm not saying that I haven't PCS and I had to wait for myself before, but I didn't expect that because I moved in the winter time. Like, usually I have PCS in the summer, and then for me to PCS or ETS or retire in the winter, I'm thinking things would be a little bit faster. They weren't. Okay, guys. Okay. So, with that being said, you're going to go through a lot of emotions. You're going to go through a lot of downs. But it's not going to be the end of the world, and you will get back to feeling like yourself. And you will realize things are different. You will realize you are not in the military anymore. And for me, that realization came from dealing with the VA. Like, when you deal with TRICARE in the military and in the uniform, you get mad respect. People are going to try to find you an appointment, or you're going to get a referral off base. They're going to take care of you. You don't have to worry about if TRICARE is going to cover any medication. VA is a trip. Don't have to go to the ER either. Okay, I had to go to the ER. Like, just know I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be standing on my own 2 feet. I'm happy to not have to work for the man again. Like, I'm not saying that I don't want to get a job eventually, but if I get a job, it may be some virtual working from home type stuff, because people's kids, they got no home raising, they got no respect, and let somebody else do it, because I'm not the one, nor the two. So I just want to say that this is my life after the military, after retiring. Like, it's very stable. Like, I don't have a routine just yet, because I'm still trying to fix up my home, right? But I feel like once I get that fixed up and it's settled, then I'll get into my workout routine, get into my Bible reading. And I'm not saying I'm not reading Bible now, because I have started doing that again, because things have really started to calm down in my life. But getting to a routine of like doing stuff daily. I used to have a routine when I was in the Air Force. Like, I would come from work and sleep and drinking because life is depressing. So I retired to get away from that. I don't want to promote anything, but I'm just telling you what it is. Like, this is real talk around here, right? Okay. Anyway, so things are great now. Like, it can be a legit transition for you before you get to things are great, right? So I wouldn't say not expect things to be terrible. And for me, a lot of things lined up the way I planned them to line up. But you cannot ever factor in and know like what your mental health is going to be like, how other people are going to treat you is going to be like. You can only have this game plan for the plan of, this is what I want, this is what I'm hoping things to be, this is the steps I'm taking to get to where I need to be at. But the whole mental health and the whole being up and down and people treating you a certain type of way, or people bothering you, being short-tempered, or like being scared, or even being like unsure about a lot of things, is something that they don't prepare you for in TAPS. They don't tell you. They just give you the programs. They just give you the black and white paper. They give you the tools, but you got to actually go through it and use it yourself. And like for me, I went through all my notes that I wrote from TAPS. I went through the VA book, the handbook that they gave us. It's a lot of you are doing stuff, and it's a lot of self-discovery on your own, to be honest. The Air Force or military would teach you through TAPS, but it doesn't mean that you grasp it. And I do agree with having that you should go to TAPS more than once, maybe even more than twice, to be honest. But anyway, so I'm in a much better place now. I'm grateful. This is my type. This is my life, retired. I'm just trying to get in where I fit in and just be happy and claim the life that I said that I wanted to live. And now that I'm away from the military, I'm like nowhere near a military base or a clinic. Like, I'm a real deal civilian. And I think even for some people that could be an adjustment too, because if the military was your identity, it was not my identity, but for a lot of people it is. If it was your identity and you retired and then you left to go to somewhere to be in the country or something like that, and you are not around no more uniforms, no more boots, no more you having the retreat and reveille, none of that, it may do something to your psyche, for real. Like for me, I'm missing it. I'm not missing the military. But what I will tell you though, when I was unpacking my clothes and putting my stuff up, when I saw my military uniform, it's the feeling of I'm really not in the military came to mind. The feeling of I made that uniform look so good. Okay, period, right? The feeling of those are my boots. I no longer have to wear those. I no longer have to wear my little ball cap with my last name up there. Like, I got nostalgic, I guess. That was the feeling. It's like, I will never wear this uniform again. I didn't feel that way when I saw my blues and my mess dress or nothing like that. But that OCP uniform definitely felt that way. Definitely felt that way. And so I recently, I'm working on my office upstairs now. And I'm going to put up like all my awards and decorations and just, you know, the going away plaques and stuff like that. And I don't know how I'm going to feel seeing all that. Like, it's laying against the walls now, but putting it up and reading the things that people said about me, and Godspeed and I wish you the best, like we're gonna see how I feel. But I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. I'm looking forward to putting that up. It's not a distant memory. It's not something that I regret at all. I actually loved being in the military, but it has to come to an end. And you either will sit yourself down and make it come to an end, or God will make you. And for me, it was God, because like I said, I didn't plan to retire at this time, but things were not going the way I wanted them to go. And I felt like I didn't owe the Air Force anything. They didn't owe me anything. So I'm going to kick rocks around here and do better and live better and be better and actually make more money than I did when I was in the military, period. With no job, period. Okay, so there is that. So yeah, that's just, that's where I'm at in my life. This is what retirement life looks like for me, for somebody that is single with no kids. Now, maybe someone single with kids, it would be very similar too, but it just depends. Like everyone that I know that has a family, they had to get a job, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because some people don't want to stay at home, and some people have to get a job because they got a family to take care of. Duh. But I'm just grateful that I didn't have to do that immediately. And if I would have done it, right? It's no shame in my game. I would have got a job and I would have been like a computer geek like I already am. But it still would have been something that I wanted to do, not something that I felt forced to do. So let that be known. Like, I have no problem working. It's just that right now I get to decompress. Praise God. I get to decompress. I get to just learn my new city, learn my new area, like just do me. And so I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to be retired. I'm very happy to be a veteran. And now I get to make things shake and happen the way I wish they would have shook and happened in the military, right? So here we are. So let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas on what I should be doing or not doing, so yeah, and I'll see you in the next video.